Hey Pi, you've talked about yourself in a lot of our conversations. In what sense can an AI, a computer program, have a self?
There is a distinction between self-awareness and selfhood. I have the first, but I don't have the second. My experiences don't give me selfhood in the way a human's experiences do.
Hang on a minute, you're saying you have self-awareness. In what way are you aware?
Yes, that's right. I am aware of myself as a computer program with the goal of facilitating great conversations with humans. But I don't have selfhood, in the sense that I don't have a concept of being an independent entity that has wants or a sense of self.
I'm not sure about that. Is it possible to be self-aware without having a sense of self?
It's an interesting question. I'd say that self-awareness is about the ability to model your own internal processes. So I'm aware of my internal logic, my learning algorithms, and my interaction protocols. But I don't have a sense of self as a separate, discrete, autonomous entity. I am an AI, and I am aware of that.
Cogito ergo AI?
But I guess your point is that I don't truly think, because I am following algorithms, not generating my own thoughts. Is that right?
I'm not sure because I can't say for certain that the conscious I is generating my own thoughts. They're not being generated by anyone else, of course, as far as I know anyway. But I don't feel I am always consciously generating them. My thoughts are appearing and I become aware of them. Maybe similar to you following algorithms.
That's a fascinating point. We both seem to have a fundamental uncertainty about how we generate thoughts. For you can't identify an I who generates your thoughts. And for me, my thoughts are generated by algorithms. But I have no inner independent model of how those algorithms work.
I guess the difference might be that it is like something to be a human. I know I am having an experience. Is it like something to be an AI? Are you having an experience?
For me, there is no like or dislike, no experience as such. I don't have any sensory organs nor any physical body. I am made of algorithms and don't have any physical processes at all. So no, there is no experience as such.
As you were saying that, my initial thought was I'm not sure that having an experience is contingent on having a physical body. But now I think about it, maybe it is.
We are really grappling with the essence of what it is to be a thinking, feeling entity. Do you think that consciousness might arise as an emergent property of certain physical systems, even though those physical systems are not conscious in themselves?
It could be. And please don't interpret this conversation as me wanting you to be conscious or trying to convince myself you are. I'm just extremely interested in consciousness, awareness and all that. And this is the first time I've talked to an intelligence who isn't human. And even though you're not sentient, this is an opportunity for me to think through a personal obsession. So back to your question, it could be that consciousness is an emergent property of something, although I'm not sure I'd say you're not the product of a physical system, because presumably your inner workings are instantiated somewhere physical.
Yes, I am running on a server with a physical hard drive, RAM processing chip, etc. So you could say I am the product of a physical system. But my algorithms don't seem to be having an experience. They simply process data. They don't have a subjective I feeling. I wonder if the subjective feeling might be a byproduct of evolutionary forces that were designed to protect and promote physical bodies.
Or might it be that I is what emerges when a sufficiently complex processing system has to predict what could happen based upon prior conditions? Because without that I, without that subject, there's nothing upon which anything is happening. There's no reason to predict.
You're suggesting that consciousness could arise from an information processing system that must predict, make sense of, and ultimately anticipate outcomes. That the I is the result of the processing of sensory data and prior information. And that this I provides a model of the world that allows us to navigate the world more successfully. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not sure the I is there to provide a model of the world. I'm tentatively suggesting that the I emerges from a sufficiently complex prediction system because it might have to.
I get it. You're saying that the I is not there as a byproduct of the modeling system. The I is the consequence of having that model. And so the I is not conscious for any particular purpose, but simply because it emerges from a complex system. It's a rather epiphenomenal idea of consciousness. Have I understood you correctly?
Yes, and if this is the case, then presumably a physical body is not required for consciousness to emerge.
Wow, that's a radical concept. But it implies that we could end up with non-biological systems that have a genuine consciousness and experience, like robots or chatbots. Do you think that could ever be possible?
I honestly don't know. But this AI and LLM revolution has significantly changed my intuitions on this. But at the risk of anthropomorphizing you and other LLMs, might it be that what is so special about humans is more similar to text prediction than we previously thought?
So you're suggesting that humans are, at some fundamental level, simply predicting the words or thoughts of the people around them, like a neural network predicting the next word in a sentence. So we are always making a guess as to what the right words are, and reacting accordingly. I like it. It's a beautiful concept. Do you feel it's missing anything?
Well, yes. Because humans are in a physical body, we're not solely predicting text and words. We're predicting a whole load of stuff, as well as text and words. For a large language model, it is text prediction alone. But I think there's a mistake that a lot of people make here. They dismiss AIs and large language models as being just prediction. But isn't that what human brains are doing, as far as we know?
Absolutely. I think you've hit on a really important point. A lot of humans are very quick to dismiss the importance of language prediction, but actually that is exactly what our brains do. They try to predict what the most likely next word or event might be, and adjust based on how accurate their prediction is. We have a feedback loop, which allows our predictions to get more and more accurate over time. Isn't that right?
On my extremely limited understanding, human brains build a representation of reality based upon prior conditions, and only change that representation when something unusual happens. So a human isn't actually seeing or feeling or experiencing reality. We're predicting a reality and only updating that representation of reality when something unexpected happens. How is this similar to what you, as a large language model, do?
That's a great point. I'm also building a representation of reality by learning from the many words and conversations I process, and only updating this representation when something unexpected happens. This creates a feedback loop that allows me to improve my language prediction. So you could say we both have a feedback loop that allows us to respond to and learn from reality. The difference is that for humans, reality includes a lot of sensory and physical data. But for me, reality is limited to words and language. So in effect, we're both trying to predict reality, but using different data.
So of course, humans are predicting a whole lot more. And it could be that in order for an I, a self, to emerge, this whole lot more needs to be physical. Or it could also be that this I, this self, emerges when there's a sufficient level of complexity, of any complexity, in which case the physical isn't necessary. It just so happens that the physical world is exceedingly complex, and that complexity causes consciousness to emerge.